Hi, I'm Joy Hutson, and I am the mom to Joel and Camden Hutson, who both have cystic fibrosis.
And I'm Murph Hutson, and I'm Joel and Camden's dad.
So a little bit about how we first learned about the diagnosis for Joel. At about 2 weeks after he'd had his 2-week health checkup, we received a call from his pediatrician, and she let us know over the phone that they'd had some test results come back and that Joel had cystic fibrosis. So I immediately went into panic mode. My only experience with cystic fibrosis was knowing someone that I grew up with who died of cystic fibrosis before they got to high school. And I didn't have a concept of the spectrum of the disease at that point. I had only seen the worst.
And I had no clue what it was, and I made the mistake of Googling it and then figuring out that the life expectancy at that time was 37. We started to see some hope in what it could be, and that was, working with the doctors at the CF clinic, working with the foundation. It became something that started to shift our thinking from this dark place and started to see a little bit of light coming forward.
I think what also really helped was we went to a clinic and they had some business cards of other CF families that were willing for new families to reach out to them. So I can remember reaching out to Cheney for the first time, and that's how we got connected with our CF community. And that community was really critical when we found out about our second son's diagnosis. So when Joel was about 3.5, we had our second son, Camden, and I can remember taking Camden to his 2-week appointment and just wondering what was going to happen. And coincidentally, it was also the same week as Joel's next quarterly cystic fibrosis appointment. So we walked into clinic, and before they could even get Joel weighed, the nurse was coming to me and saying, "We have a sweat test scheduled for you today for Camden. Are you ready to go up?" And it was like the floor dropped out all over again. And it was great care, and it was great that they were thinking in advance. It was just kind of that same rush of like, I just don't even have time to enjoy this moment, right? So we took Camden for a sweat test, and then we kind of went down the same path we'd done with Joel, and realized that he too had the same mutations and had cystic fibrosis.
And one of the things we found with their mutations was that our kids are 2 of only 4 people with those same 2 mutations. And the other 2 that have it are similar in age. There was no long-term plan, no long-term data to say this is what's going to happen. So you felt like you were just kind of shooting in the dark. Let's figure this out. We go through all of the normal standard treatments to see what we need to do, and then from there, you start to go, okay, well, maybe this is a different path we need to go on. We just didn't have the data to tell us this is the way it's going to go.
And that we had the opportunity to try a different treatment protocol for them. So in 2018, we actually stopped doing the vest treatments and the nebulizers for Joel and Camden and went into a monitor mode to see how they did. We're still 4 years in, blessed to say that Joel and Camden don't have to do their vest treatments 2 times a day, every day, and the nebulizer regimen. So we still watch them closely. When we've really replaced that vest treatment with a lot more activity. While the pandemic didn't help with that, we're diligent about doing lots of swimming now. They're getting back into basketball, and they've done baseball this past year. So really trying to up our game in that category so that we can try to improve their PFTs. The pulmonologist will say we don't know what the long-term regimen is for them because they do still have very poor pulmonary function results. But at least we know what part of the regimen we don't necessarily need to do on a daily basis.
So as we said, with the fact that the 2 of them are 2 of 4 people with these mutations, as we look at the treatments that are out there, the things that are available that are impacting a lot of people with CF, they're not things that actually impact our kids yet. And so for us, we're waiting for the full cure to ultimately take care of what Joel and Camden have. And in that, our goal for them is that cystic fibrosis is going to become a memory, something that's in the past, that they don't have to think about anymore, that they can truly just live their life and live it to the fullest, not worrying about what an age limit might be, not worrying about the treatments that they may or may not have to do, not worrying about the things that get in the way of just being a kid right now, and eventually an adult who will one day hopefully have their own family to look after, and have this be one less worry on their mind as they grow into the adults and young people that they're going to be.
I share the same dream as Murph. I'm really excited about the idea of having grandkids myself. That wasn't really a dream when the kids were first born. It was something that we questioned, if their life expectancy is short, how can we expect to experience the wonderful life of being grandparents? So that's a dream, but also a dream that I have is for the other parents and family members of folks with cystic fibrosis will get to experience some of the freedom and the relief that we've experienced in the last 4 years of not having to worry about that daily regimen and not having to worry about what the deterioration and the next steps are in the disease. So really hope that joy and that weight is that joy is there and that weight is lifted for everyone.
My dream is to be in the Air Force because my papi was in the Air Force. I want to serve my country, but if I can't be in the Air Force, then I want to work for NASA and see what space is like, because I've only seen what space is like in the movies.
My dream is to become a video game designer and also create an app to help people get services they need, like food and meals and fixing cars, etc. The services will be affordable for everyone. They will be free for the homeless. I want to donate my extra time and money to help people in need. Thank you for donating your time and money to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation so I can achieve my dream.